So you took a peek at the state-released science CBT questions, and you're looking at this one going, oh gosh, how am I going to get that external structure part in there? Do I have to make this two question? How am I going to do this in eDoctrina? Well, if I just slide this question out of the way a little bit and I pull up a screenshot from eDoctrina, you'll see we can do it, and it's not outrageously difficult. So if you're wondering how, you're in the right place. Let's take a dive in and see how we do this. Well, hello friends, Rick Bray with the Plick team at Broome Tioga BOCES, and here we are looking at how to recreate some CBT sampler questions to mirror that environment and help our students get some practice. And specifically, we're looking to rebuild this 5th grade level question where there's like a input box here for the answer and an explanation box down here. And while it may not be perfect, it's going to be pretty darn close. So I'm going to take you through how to create this whole question. And you'll see on the timeline, I break it up into piece by piece. So if there's specific parts you're looking for, you can find it. But let's start with, I know I'm going to need all this text in the question. So I'm going to use my mouse or my trackpad to highlight it. I can't right click to copy, so I'm going to have to use a keyboard shortcut, Control C or Command C, depending on what device you're on, but it should work on all of them. And then I'm going to head over to an assessment in eDoctrina where I created a question. An important part of this puzzle is the question type needs to be, a teacher scored question. So either you have to change the question to be teacher scored, or you're going to have to make a new one that is teacher scored. And then I can just simply click on the question area to put my cursor there. It says paste, but you'll notice it doesn't let me paste. I have to use the keyboard shortcut just like we saw before. So if you're not familiar with keyboard shortcuts, might be a good time to start getting more comfortable. But if not, it's okay. It reminds you. So I can see this is worth 1 point. That's what my question was worth. That's great. Because I'm a bit of a formatting nut, I'm going to just use this tool to clear any formatting off the text, so that way it looks the same. Now, I need this external structure part. That's where the students enter that in. So to mirror that, what I'll do is I'll make a new line hitting Enter on my keyboard, and I'll write external structure, just like it was on the assessment. And then I need to get that little input box down below. The way I do that is I set my cursor wherever I want that input box to show up. So I'm clicking here so that my cursor's at the bottom. And then this little kind of yellow for me highlighted tool that says Answer Tool, that's what I want to click on. And it brings up this sub window where the tool, I can pick from a bunch of different ones. This was really before they had the the grade-based tools for the different subjects in place. This is how we did it. But for now, we want to select input. I wouldn't worry about the width and the max characters right now because this is kind of a short answer. And the placeholder is whatever you want in the space. Now, if I flip back up to those pictures, over on the state assessment side, on the left, you can see it's just an empty box. On the right, I choose to put external structure in there. For me, I sort of want my students to know that something goes in there. So instead, what we did is we put the external structure above the text box, just like it is in the state assessment. But the placeholder, going back to eDoctrina, the placeholder I'm going to use is I'm going to say, type your answer here. That's what the students will see, right? I could say, identify the external structure here, whatever I think is the best idea. And maybe the first time I do this with my students, I explain this to them. But I'll say, okay, and you'll notice it now says, type your answer here, because that's what I put in for the placeholder. Now, in addition to this, if I look at the question, I need the explanation space, and I probably want to put the word explanation in there. So if I go back to eDoctrina, I'll click next to the text box here and hit Enter, and I can make some new lines, and I can write your, whoa, that's not where I wanted it to be. Let's try going down. There we go. Write your explanation here, or maybe below, right? And now I'm going to use those grade and science specific toolbars that we saw in a different video. I'm going to click on the Online Tools button right here. And again, since this is a 5th grade science test for the Show Your Work area, I'm going to select the 5th grade. Oh, that's math. We want to make sure we're selecting science 5th, right? Because this is a science question. And the toolbars are different. And I'm going to click on Save. Now, if I save and preview that option online, you'll see when we look at question 1, we have the question, we have the external structure where it's telling to students to type your answer here. It says, write your written explanation below, and that's what this space is for. So you might, like I say, you might want to explain to the students that the Show Your Work here just shows up by default. But that's how we can make, where did it go? This question here recreated in eDoctrina. But I realize you're saying to yourself, maybe, hey, that's not all of the question. What about all this writing on the left-hand side? How do I get this in the question? Well, don't worry, we have a video for that, and I'm probably putting a card up in the top of the video right now that links you out to how to add those passages. But as far as building the structure of this question, where we have a text input box and then a space to write our question, we have that all set by using the answer tool to supply my input box, and the online tools to supply the Science Grade 5 specific toolbar. So there you go. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. You're also more than welcome to subscribe to this channel to get updates and notifications when new content like this video is posted. As always, thank you for watching.